could you also talk a little more about Crimson, about him as a person, him as because obviously he runs Tried and True, right? So could you
Mhm.
just talk about your experiences with him? Obviously, he hired you right away for the security, but what went
Mhm.
on afterwards?
Yeah, honestly, with Crimson, this is the weird thing. I worked a job a few years beforehand. I think after he started Tried True Pro back in 2015, and I was always hearing from some bosses that I had, and then also from friends, man, you got to meet Crimson. You guys are so similar. You guys are really gonna get along. Blah blah blah. And I always hear about this guy, and I never actually got to meet him. This is the thing. And I was always 5 minutes too late. Oh, he was just here. Oh, man, he just left. And then finally, when we get to 2017, I actually didn't really get to meet him until after the show was over. So even when I came in hours before the show was there, I didn't actually get to see Crimson or meet him. And
Was
this
this
is
the
the
night you
thing.
did security?
Yes, this is the first night I did security
Okay.
for him. Crimson is the busiest man on the planet. Like everybody knows that. If you know Anthony Mayweather, you know that he is the busiest man on the planet. You better hope if you send him a text, you better hope you get an answer at least within the week. It's just because this man is the most in demand man around. When it comes to wrestling or anything outside of that, this man is always go, go, go. This man is a hustler in every sense of the word. This man is out here earning every single dollar that he gets. It's one of the huge amounts of praise that I can heap on this guy. And I'd be here for weeks if I was just sitting here just praising the man. But I think it was this weird thing where I felt like Crimson hated me at first. And I even told him about this whenever we first had a real conversation, which was a few weeks later after this. Um, every time I saw him when I was watching the shows, when I'd come there for the live shows, he would always just be like, I'd look around, nobody else is paying attention to me. I'm just, taking everything in. I look across the room, there's this guy, 6'4", covered in tattoos, big old mohawk, and he's just already staring me down. I'm like, okay, what did I do to this man who's across this room from me? We're in a sea of people and he's just eyes locked. Hey, I see you, dude. And I'm like, okay, this isn't good. And I finally meet him and I was like, oh boy, okay, this is a little bit intimidating. You got that really intimidating look about you. I guess that's the military in him, where he just learned to get the death stare, and he just had that. And he explained to me, he's like, "Nah, bro, it's kind of like a sign of respect. You see one of the other bigger guys in the gym, you're kind of gonna keep your eye on him. You're like kind of having a mental competition." He was like, "It's kind of like that." He was like, "Yeah, it's kind of like a respect thing." He was kind of like, I was kind of scouting talent. That's how it was." And so after that, I got to know Crimson a lot more. And there's still things that I learned about Crimson here and there. And I kind of got to see his vision for professional wrestling, and I wanted to share the same vision. And the fact that he brought the school to the area that he's in, to a newest city that he's kind of adopted as a new home with Clarksville, Tennessee, I think that was a great gift, not only to me, but to a lot of people in the surrounding area to bring professional wrestling here, to make Clarksville, Tennessee, try to build that into a wrestling town because it takes a lot to build any place into a wrestling town. I mean, Memphis didn't become a wrestling town overnight. Nashville didn't become a wrestling town overnight. And currently, probably one of the biggest like areas for pro wrestling in Tennessee right now is in East Tennessee. That didn't happen overnight. East Tennessee wasn't um, a big wrestling hotspot here in Tennessee for a lot of professional wrestling's existence. Most of it was all in Memphis or in Nashville, some sort of part of Middle Tennessee, and now East Tennessee kind of has returned. And so, kind of seeing that building up and how hard he was working to kind of build it up like this and build up this territory. Um, it was a pretty great experience to try to see how he was building that. Even with the small team that he had, me included, it was really great to be a part of that. And that same hard work kind of got us to where we're at when it came to the NWA. It got us to our relationship with Billy Corgan and being able to execute his vision as best as possible. And that's why a lot of our guys from Tried and True Academy and Tried and True Pro in general, a lot of our wrestlers, a lot of our students all got to be a part of the NWA. Is these connections from that kind of hard work, from that dedication to not only this new adopted home of his, but also to the professional wrestling business.